Today we are joined by Alla Augustinov from our product team. Alla, if you want to say hello, she is a product manager here at Wix, and she helped to build the AdSense integration. So Alla, if you want to say hello.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. I hope the session will be very helpful to all of us, and we'll learn a bit more about AdSense on Wix.
Wonderful. We are also joined by Hen Yankos Yusim, who is from Google, and she is the global product go-to-market lead over at Google. And she is joining us today to share and she's going to be presenting all about AdSense today. So to say hello.
Hello, everyone. Super excited to be with you today.
Thank you. And we're also joined today by Rishabh Mutha, who's going to be answering your questions later on today. Rishabh, if you want to say hello.
Sure. Hi, thanks for that intro, Crystal. I'm super excited to be here and super excited to answer any questions that you'll have.
Right, so we are going to just to give you a quick agenda. We have a few FAQs to answer. Yes, this webinar is being recorded. People always ask if they join a little bit late. So if anybody does, tell them yes, it is being recorded. Also, we have the YouTube link will be sent with the recording later on. You can ask Q&A questions in the Q&A. We have someone from our product team who's going to be answering as many questions as they can while we go through everything. And we'll also be answering some more questions at the end of the session. And you can also check out future webinars at the Wix SEO Learning Hub, which is where you registered for this webinar. So at wix.com/SEO/learn/webinars, lots of slashes, but lots of information as well. In terms of agenda, we've done the introductions. Everyone's super fantastic, and we are super glad to have you here. And then we're going to have a presentation from Wix, and they're going to talk. Alla's going to talk lots about all of the different features and things there and how you can use AdSense there. And then we're going to have a presentation from Hen at Google, and she's going to talk about all about the updates and the different things that they're doing there over at Google in terms of AdSense and all the new things to see there. And then we're going to have the Q&A from Mutha, and he's going to go through all of those elements. And with that, I am going to hand over to Alla, who is going to share.
So hello again, everyone. I'm just going to quickly share my screen just so we have my presentation up and running. Okay, so welcome again to the webinar about how to integrate Google AdSense with your Wix or Wix Studio platform. The idea here on my side is to explain how you can initiate the integration, how to properly set it up, how to go through all the stages of the verification process, and then eventually have an up and running Google AdSense integration on your Wix site where you can actually designate space on your website pages for displaying ads. So let's start from the beginning. You have a Wix site or a Wix Studio site, and you want to install the AdSense app. It goes by Wix Monetize with AdSense in our app market, which is how you can locate it. It's pretty straightforward. I assume some of you or most of you are familiar with the app market, so you can just go in, look for the app, and then click on it to install it. Adding it to your site, there are a few standard steps or phases that we have to go through when we install an app from the app market, especially if we're working with something that integrates with an external platform. So this is where we need to grant the relevant permissions for Google to access our website. And once we do, we can get started. So what happens next is that basically we are redirected on our Wix dashboard or Wix Studio dashboard. We are redirected to the page where we begin the verification process. I'm sure the Google team who will be speaking right after me will be able to provide a lot more information about it. But in short, for now, the verification process is basically a crucial step of making your website verified by Google so that you'll be able to display advertisements on it. So how it begins, you just initiate it by connecting the relevant Google account or creating a new one if you don't have it yet with your website. It's a very straightforward, streamlined process in the sense that one step leads to another and kind of you go through all of them one by one. And once you've chosen the relevant account you want to integrate and you complete the connection, you are now, or rather your website is entering the review process. And during the review process, a few key aspects are reviewed by the Google team. Again, we're going to dive deeper into that a bit later, but basically this process might take up to 4 weeks. And during this time, the website is, you can see actually the status here as in review. And you can also see when the verification process has begun. So you more or less know where are you on the timeline. So there can be obviously 2 outcomes to a verification process. The website can be approved for using AdSense. And the website can also, further actions actually can be required, like adding quality content to the website, reviewing certain policies by Google, making sure the site complies with them. It can be updating some details about your business, like phone PIN verification issues and the like. And once you've completed these actions as required on your Google AdSense account, then you can resubmit the website for verification, at which point it's being reviewed again, and hopefully at the end of it, it's verified and we can go on to actually use AdSense on our site. Once it's verified, what you will see is basically when clicking on the, or rather navigating to the AdSense dashboard in your Wix dashboard, you will see your ad units. Now I'm going to go in more depth into the ad unit issue in a sec, but basically this is how your ad management system looks in the background on your Wix dashboard. There are a few things that you can do here. You can add a new ad unit. So basically an ad unit is something that is later attached to a relevant site widget onto which an ad will be placed later by Google when the site is live. So you can create multiple ad units here. You can manage them here. You can designate different sizes and different behaviors to each ad unit. Again, we'll review that in more detail in a bit. And you can also go to the website editor and basically start actually connecting the ad units you generated in the dashboard to your site widgets where the ads are going to be displayed. Another way, going a bit back to the different statuses along the verification process, so you can also see them when you log into your Google AdSense account. For example, this is just an example of mine where I have a few websites connected to the same account, and then I can see how one of them needs further actions to complete the verification. Another one is still being reviewed, and the third one is ready, and I can start using it right away. So moving on to adding actual ad units. Again, this is pretty straightforward. We're going back to how the dashboard appears once the website is verified on the Wix side. And what you do here is basically you have a few entry points where from which you can add new ad units. It's at the top of the page and here again. And here you have the list of all the ad units that you've created. And the way the ad unit creation screen looks is it's like this. Basically, what we have here is a title. I recommend using something indicative that you can later identify the ad unit by. And then you can decide what's going to be the responsiveness behavior of the ad, whether it's going to be responsive, especially relevant to Wix Studio sites. or whether it will be fixed size. So it will appear the same size on all screens, no matter where it is browsed to from. And then once you, if you decide that you want a fixed size ad unit, then you also need to select the size, which is a few predetermined sizes that we provide for you. And I'd say that we are now approaching the last part, which is actually displaying the ads on your website. And again, this is done through the editor, so you can access the editor from the dashboard, or you can just, there are many different ways to open the editor. Once you've opened the editor, you should go into the app market again and complete the setup of Wix Monetize with AdSense, because to complete the installation of many apps on a Wix site, as I'm sure you probably know, you need to complete two different steps. One of them is the setup on the dashboard, which is what we reviewed just now. And the other one is completing it on the editor and then actually placing a widget on the site, which will, on the site pages, which will look like this. The widget settings panel will show you all the ad units that you've already created in the dashboard, and then you can go ahead and select the one you want to display in this widget, and then you can also see the title that we discussed and the size that was chosen for the ad unit. So this one is fixed size, and this one is responsive, so it will depend on the screen size. Once we've done that, we are pretty much done. So this is my example website that I've created for the purpose of this webinar. As you can see, there's not much real information in there. But basically, you can see that in this case, I chose a fixed size ad unit, vertical ad unit that will fit right into the blank space I have left on the left side of my product page. And then an ad is generated into it, and that's basically it. From this point on, your site visitors are, or rather your website is generating impressions. A few other things I think are important to mention, especially for the Wix Studio users, is that you can further enhance the effects of using Wix Monetize with AdSense, is that you can actually place them inside a global section, and then you decide where it appears on which pages, and you only need to set it up once, so it kind of saves a lot of time and trouble, and generates a lot of pages with the same type of content. So those are the instructions of how to set it up. Again, it's very straightforward, as very similar to how things are being set up on other pages of the site. And I think the last bit from Wix's end to wrap up all the places where we can integrate with AdSense, it would be the Wix blog. So the integration works a little bit different on a blog. It does require, as opposed to the integration from the dashboard, which I just reviewed, this one requires kind of a different initiation flow. Basically, you go to your blog post, you click on an AdSense widget, you place it whatever you want, and then you need to just add a certain type of code, which is provided to you on your Google AdSense platform. And then again, you're ready to go. What we did also, we wanted to show you some real examples of actual websites that use AdSense, and we think they're great, and AdSense is generating a lot of great value for those sites. So this is, for example, tour guide of Korea, and they're using this is the ad you can see here. Another one used the fixed ads like I showed before in my demo site. So again, you can see here that this is actually a great way to fill the kind of the void on the sides of the site where nothing appears. So they designated the place for the ads. Here again, you can see on the top, on the bottom, basically it's up to you. It's it can go anywhere, in any size, in almost any form. So you can see how people decide to utilize it in different ways. This is a website of an Israeli chef. And so he is using the different places between the sections of his site to place ads. And the same goes for here. So this is a college football website. And then again, those are all ads which are displayed on the site. I think, Crystal, I think my part here is done. So you can take back over.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think we've had some pretty active folks in the discussion who are really interested in how this all works. I think the thing that I really appreciate is how we've got, so many different ways to use AdSense across the platform, whether you want to try it on a single blog or whether you want to try it across your whole site. And I think that that's really great to see. We are going to move on to the Google presentation shortly. We're going to have Hen present this section. If I could just ask Mutha to give me access to one of the pages. There's a little media file on slide 12.
Sure.
So we can get that. That would be great. And I will share the screen to be the assistant on this particular page, on this particular section. And I will let you
Much, Crystal.
present. Okay, so I'll present.
Thank you, Crystal. Thanks so much, Ale, for presenting the sign-up process and how to overcome some common issues users might face. So as mentioned, I'm Hen, a product go-to-market lead here in Google, working on this amazing AdSense integration that we have with Wix for a while now. So I saw in the chat that you're asking what is AdSense. So just to cover that up, AdSense is a product that helps content creators or digital publishers to earn revenue from their sites easily by using ads. And I saw you also ask about if you're placing the ads within your website or within other websites. It's within your own website only. So you as a content creator use our product in order to earn revenue from your sites. Moving forward, I will speak with you about different ad units types and introduce to you to the auto ads functionality. And we will start by speaking on manual ad units, which are fully supported by the Wix app that Ala showed. Crystal, can we move forward? Thank you. So the most common choice within our manual ad units is display ads. These are the standard ads that you see across the web. Not only that this is the most common option, this is also the most recommended option and designed within the manual ads options. And it's designed to work well across your website in different areas and different locations. To add this through the AdSense UI, you should click on ads and go through the process that you can see there. You can also use the Wix app that Ala showed before. You can choose between two options, a fixed size or a responsive size. The responsive ads are more recommended as they will adapt to your specific page layout. However, if you prefer to specify the specific size of the ad, you can select the fixed option and enter the specific required size of the ad. Once you click save, you will get a code which you should implement. Again, either through the app or within the body tags of your pages in the specific locations when you want ads to appear. It will take a few minutes, but then you should see the ads within your website. Crystal, can you move forward? No, the previous one, sorry. Thank you. Here you can see a few examples of display ads. They can come in either a square, vertical, or horizontal shapes. As you can see, they can be more text heavy or image heavy, and they will many times include a call to action button. Native ads. This is the next type of manual ads. This type of ads match the look and feel of your website and provide an improved user experience for your visitors. Native ads differ from display ads in the way that they are designed to fit in a neat way inside your user's native path through the journey within your website. The visitors will still know that these are ads. They will be fully aware of it. Don't worry, but they will look great next to your content. And in addition, these are very customizable and they use high quality ad elements. There are 3 different types of native ads. Let's go through these. The first type is in article. These are native looking ads that will appear between the paragraph of your pages. The second type is in feed, and these are native looking ads that you can place inside your feed to be able to monetize this section as well in parallel to the rest of the content across your website. So if you are wondering what a feed might be, this can be an editorial feed, for example, a list of articles, or it can be a listing feed, for example, a list of services. Any type of feed that contains a list, you will be able to monetize it with this specific format. You can also customize the look and feel of these ads to match the look and feel of your website. And the last type of native ads are the multiplex ads. This one will serve multiple ads in a grid within one ad unit. So what you can see here in the image, it's considered to be one ad unit. And you can change the style of it to fit within your website. You can see that we can see that publishers often place these grids at the end of articles or at the end of the sidebars. The reason for that is to help effectively monetize the end of the user's journey within your website. It provides a way for you as a publisher to show ads to users who have finished reading your content, and they will probably anyway leave your website soon, so the larger ad unit fits there. Okay, and the next section we will cover today is about our auto ads offering. This is currently available only through AdSense UI, but I know that Wix is working to add this functionality as well in the future. Creating great content takes time. Making it profitable shouldn't. And we would like to help publishers focusing on their content creation without the need to deal too much with the monetization itself. Therefore, our goal is to help publishers monetize your content with an easy-to-use automated platform that makes smart decisions on your behalf. Why should you, as a publisher, use auto ads? First, they help increase the revenue. These ads analyze your pages and find new places to show ads based on your specific layout, content, and existing ads automatically. Second, these ads are very, very easy to use. You only need to place one piece of ad code to get started. After you've placed the code, auto ads will automatically adjust any changes you make to your site and to your ad settings. So you control the ad settings in our UI, but in terms of placing it within your code of the website, it's only one piece of code, and that's it for good. And third, these ads are tailor-made, and we give you the option to customize them based on your specific needs. Auto ads include 3 main types of formats: overlay formats, in-page formats, and intent-driven formats. In this webinar, we will focus on the first 2 types of formats. So what are overlay formats? These are ads that appear over page content without affecting its layout. We have 3 types of overlay formats. Let's go through these. The first format is anchor ads, which sometimes are being referred to as sticky ads. They appear at the top of the user screen unless we determine that this would negatively affect the user experience, in which case we show them at the bottom. When shown at the top, anchor ads only appear after the user has started scrolling down far enough, so they never will cover your site's branding or navigation, so you don't need to worry about that. Crystal, can you try and show this? Okay, sorry, we will move forward, but it's a sticky anchor that shows either at the top or the bottom. Why would you choose? Sorry? Crystal, I don't think you're showing the screen. Okay, cool. Can you move to the next slide? Thank you. Why would you choose to use this format? Anchor ads is a high-performing format that you can that can improve your monetization across all of the different devices: mobile, tablet, and desktop. This is being done by creating incremental inventory with high viewability. due to the stickiness to the screen. I will go over what viewability means later on in the webinar. In the same time, Anchor ads provide a positive user experience. We build them in a way that they are compliant with the Better Ads standard, as well with Chrome ad filtering requirements, so no worries on that. And Anchor ads are designed to avoid covering content and can be collapsed at any time by clicking on the chevron on the left side of the slot. And the user can then re-expand the slot at any given time. The second type of overlay format is the side rail ads. Side rail ads are ads that stick to the sides of your page as the user scrolls down. This format appears only on widescreen devices such as desktop. The third and last type of our overlay formats is vignette ads. These are full screen ads that appear between page loads. They are being triggered by clicking on a link within an article or on a user action. And then we are serving the ad with a very clear exit option, and they are directed to the following page. You can see here how it works within mobile and desktop. And we know CWV, which is Core Web Vitals, is an important metric to content creators and to our publishers. This ad format doesn't affect at all two of these CWVs. Let's go through them, starting with the large contentful paint, also known as LCP. When the front window loads to show the vignette ad on it, the time to load that is not penalized under LCP. We made sure with our engineering team. And then moving to the next one, first input delay, FID. Here we can see possibly a very small impact. This can be impacted when the user's interaction with the page are impacted. When the vignette window shows, the action a user can take is to close the ad or the window. However, this doesn't have any time delay, so FID is also less likely to be impacted. And the last metric is cumulative layout shift, also known as CLS. And here we can see no impact at all by vignettes, as this format does not move the layout of the page at all, as it appears between separated windows on top of the content. Since these ads appeared between pages, there is no question of content moving due to ad loading time. So no worries on this front. Following feedback we got from our users, we added the functionality of vignette frequency, which means that you have the power to decide how long it takes before users can see another vignette. Basically, you can adjust the frequency to manage how often users see a vignette on your site. By default, it's going to be 10 minutes. For maximum earnings, you can choose the lowest frequency, 1 minute. Of course, you can play with it and see what works for you. If you prefer fewer ads for your users, opt for a higher frequency, for example, 10 minutes or more. If you set it up to 1 minute, it means that the user will need to be within your website for at least 1 minute before they will get the chance to see the first vignette. It's a very high-performing ad, so I will highly recommend you to try and use that. Here you can see a case study we published with one of our publishers, Flip HTML5 by Wonder Idea Technology. The Flip HTML5 was looking to grow their AdSense revenue without a long and complicated implementation. They wanted to maximize their earnings fast. With the help of AdSense Auto Optimize, our A/B test mechanism, the team uncovered an additional optimization potential in adjusting the vignette ad frequency caps to 1 minute. AI-powered auto ads and A/B testing led to informed decisions and results, and the results were amazing. This led to a 12% increase in vignette ads revenue and to more than 8% uplift in impression RPM. Or as the partner said, after just 1 week of testing a 1 minute ad frequency cap with vignette, we saw a clear positive impact. Let's move on to the second type of auto ads, in-page formats. By that we refer to ads that are placed within specific areas of the pages. And this is being done based on the layout and the amount of content you have on each page, on each one of the pages automatically. It includes three types of formats: banner ads, multiplex ads, and related search ads. Today we will focus on banner ads and multiplex ads. Banner ads, they are in-page ad units that show display or native ads that we covered earlier in the webinar. These are responsive ads by default, which means they automatically adapt their size to fit your specific page layout and your users' devices and their specific resolution. We will insert them automatically within different sections of your pages with the goal to have both a great user experience and in the same time to maximize your earnings. Multiplex ads are a type of a native ad format that serve multiple ads in a grid within an ad unit. Auto ads often place multiplex ad units in the end of articles or in sidebars. This is because they can help effectively monetize the end of a user's journey on a page or a site. As we spoke about also the manual multiplex ads, it's similar. As mentioned during the manual ads section, multiplex ad units provide a way for you to show ads to users who have finished consuming your content. Changing the site's code is the last thing you want to do. We get it fully. However, sometimes you want more control over your auto ad setups. So we've developed a way for you to control your ads in an easy manner, just by switching a toggle on and scroll to the optimal level of ads in your website. That way you will always be in control of the number of ads and the distance between ads. Set and forget, auto ads will automatically find the best spots. You don't have to spend countless hours on manually A/B testing and thinking about the size and positioning your ads in a very specific way. We will do everything for you. And we developed fine-tuned controls to help publishers, to offer publishers more flexibility around the powerful automation we offer. As you can see, we offer the option to adjust the maximum number of ads and the minimum distance between ads to allow publishers to set constraints on placements. We, of course, make sure that even if you choose the maximum number of ads and the minimum distance between ads, this is still compliant with our policies. We also offer the option to find more ad placements on article pages, which allows auto ads to use new placement areas, which historically it did not consider in the past. As always, we work hard to improve our products even more, so additional controls are expected to be launched through the end of this year and next year. And the last section we will go through today before the Q&A is the AdSense reporting and important metrics, because we believe this can help you maximize your earnings and understand them better. Reports in AdSense are designed to give you insights into your account performance and to help you optimize your settings and monetization. They include charts and tables so you can view trends and compare important metrics in any given time. The pre-made performance overview report lets you quickly check your earnings. You can also create, save, and schedule custom reports to help you keep track of how things are changing over time. We know it's important for our publishers. So how do you find your way around it? Let's go through the different sections of the UI. I will go through the different numbers that you see on the screen. So number one is the report list. You can either create a custom report or run pre-made reports, and they will appear on this section. Number two is the date ranges. You can switch between dates, compare date ranges, and create custom and specific date ranges, whatever you prefer. Number three is the breakdown and filters. Here you can add breakdowns to organize your data and add filters to refine your data in the way that you wish to do that. In the section of 4, you will see charts and metrics. These will present your data based on the metrics you choose, or you can click to switch between different chart types. If your chart is broken down by dates, for example, you can click to view historical changes to your account and even add your own notes, which is pretty cool in my opinion. And number 5 is the section of 5 is the table data. You can click on the eyes logos in the table to add data series to your chart. And number 6 is the settings and save option. Here you can have the option to change the time zone or currency of your report and to manage your channels. You can save, schedule, or export reports, whatever is working for you. I'm sure you want to know which metrics we consider as the most important ones and what do they mean. So let's go over through this. Established earnings refers to your account balance for the time period selected. Basically, this is your estimated revenue. This amount is an estimate that is subject to change when your earnings are being verified for accuracy at the end of every month. This is why these are estimated earnings and not just earnings. A page view is what Google counts in your reports every time a user view a page that is displaying Google Ads. We count one page view regardless of the number of ads displayed on that page. Okay, so if you have a page with 6 ads, it will still be one page view. An impression is counted for each ad request where at least one ad began to load on the user's device. It's the number of ad units or search queries that loads ads. Impression RPM is the impression revenue per 1,000 impressions. It's revenue per mile. And it's the average earnings per 1,000 of impressions. And this is how usually publishers measure their effectiveness of their ads. Page RPM is the average earnings per 1,000 page views. And this is another very valuable metric that we know that publishers are using. And the click-through rate, which is CTR, is the percentage of impressions that led to a click. CTR, you calculate it by clicks being divided by impressions. We know that this is one of the metrics which is important for advertisers when they check the performance of their campaigns. And the last metric we will go through today is ActiveView. This is Google's ad viewability measurement solution. It tracks the viewability of ads being served on AdSense. And by that, we mean the percentages of ads that are considered viewable out of the total number of ads measured. An impression is considered viewable impression when it has appeared within a user's browser and had the opportunity to be seen. And what that means, it means that at least 50% of the ads pixels need to be on the screen for at least one continuous second. Okay, so if the ad was loaded at the bottom of the screen and the user never scrolled down to that to see the ad, that ad will of course get revenue, but it won't be considered as viewable. These metrics help you understand the number of viewable impressions your site generates, and you can use this data to better understand your current situation and consider making changes to your layout or placements to improve this metric. Viewability is an extremely important metric to advertisers, and therefore improving this metric can help you increase your long-term value of your inventory, and therefore it can help you increase your long-term earnings and stability of your website. Once you become familiar with the viewability statistics, there are 3 changes you can consider to make to improve your results. The first one is create captivating content that will keep the user scrolling within your website in order to see the different ads that you might have at the bottom of the page. The second option is to use responsive ad units, because they might be larger and therefore might be seen better. And the third option is to change ad positions. So you can consider take one of the bottom ad units and put it in another upper position and just play with it in order to see if the overall viewability of your website is increasing. And that's it for now in my end until the questions.
Thank you so much for sharing. That was really great. I think we've got lots of information there. There's been lots of discussion in the chat. I'm just going to quickly share just a couple of resources which you will all be sent. I saw some discussion where people were wondering if we're going to be sent information. Yes, you will be sent the decks, so they'll be on the website later on. So that's all great. And also, I just want to make y'all aware that we have just published an article on the Wix SEO Learning Hub, written by Ella and reviewed by Ken and Amutha, and talks about some of the things that we discussed today. So you can follow along with that. And also, you can also download the Wix AdSense app. So there's a little collection of resources here. Here's also some links to the KBs to give you more details on how to do it on Wix. We have a beginner's guide. If you're a complete beginner to AdSense, we have a great beginner's guide on the Wix blog. There's also, if you're more advanced, but you haven't signed up to AdSense now or recently, or maybe you still need to finish signing up or you want to recommend someone, there's a link to sign up for AdSense, and there's also an AdSense calendar. And with that, we will be moving on to the Q&A. So we've got a few bits of information from, or a few questions. So a lot of people submitted questions ahead of time. And we're just going to review those. So one of the first questions that we had was, how do you get started using AdSense if you have a limited budget? I think people think of sort of big publishers using AdSense, and what if you've got a smaller budget? How do you get started?
So that's a great question, right? If you think about it, a lot of these big publishers at some point started somewhere. And if you're in limited budget, you may not be able to buy media. You may not be able to buy like ads or display ads to get folks on your website. But the best part about AdSense is you don't need a budget to get on AdSense. What you do truly need is great content. And when I say great content, I mean content that truly brings value to your users. What that means is making sure that the content that you put out is sticky. It really resonates with the users, and making sure that your UX is your user experience and your user interface is amazing, and it really helps users to stay on your page and go through the entire content without having to bounce off. Yeah.
And I think in the article we talked about a couple of content types that Google recommends for that. Forums was one of them. Tools was another one. I think that one of the article, or one of the examples that Alice showed was a one that had a sort of calculator type tool, or as a regular thing that people are using, and also blogs. So I'll also showed a blog, a Korean travel guide, for instance, and those work really well as well. So think about the content types as well. Another question, and I had some people saying about getting rejected or getting accepted for AdSense. So if your website was rejected for AdSense approval, what might be the reason behind that? Why might that happen?
That's another good question. If you have a look at the top question asked on AdSense forums, if you just type this on Google search, you will see multiple Reddit threads. You will see multiple threads, exactly, in general, in terms of my website was rejected. Where do I go from here? What can I do? And I completely empathize this feeling, right? Like it's not a great feeling to have your website rejected and not being able to kind of monetize on the great content that you've built. But there are several issues that could have caused your website to not get approved. While AdSense has the publisher's best interest in mind, like I am the go-to-market expert for AdSense. On the other side of the business, there's the buy side, which is there's Google Ads, and there's advertisers who are looking for places or spots on your real estate. And it is important to keep their interest in mind as well. So what that means is, if you're, for example, if your website does not have enough content, it would have, like, if your site is found to have too little text, or if there's an under construction page going on, or if there's some kind of a hard login to be able to go through certain pages, that becomes difficult. Those kind of websites become difficult for AdSense to approve. So there are certain policies which I believe the links that Crystal and Wix is going to share with you. It's a completely open, available link. You can have a look at these policies, and they will take you through the kind of most of the common reasons why there would have been a rejection on your website. There could be a couple of other cases. So, for example, if you bought your domain from another publisher or from somewhere else, and they had an AdSense website, you would have to first close your other account in order to start or sign into a new account. There could be content quality issues, which is something on the lines of, so content quality and content policy violations. In certain countries, it's illegal to, for example, advertise or market alcohol or pornography. Those websites, based on obviously the local regulations, those websites would be rejected straight up based on the local country's rules and regulations.
Right.
There are a couple of more kind of issues which I'll very quickly try to go through. Crystal, I'm a very, very short time, but so there could be some UX or navigational issues. So, for example, if your visitors are not able to go from, let's say, your homepage to your blog, or go back from your blog to back to the homepage, there could be certain kind of hierarchical issues, which is one of the reasons that we reject websites. And then the two other kind of top reasons would be invalid traffic. So your traffic has to come from legitimate sources. And what that means is that publishers should not participate in kind of paid-to-click programs. And what that means is, if you're paying another user to click and visit your website, that is kind of gray area, and you should stay away from that. Likewise with, let's say, unwanted emails. If you're spamming your users and asking them to come to your website, or if you have some kind of display ads on other shady websites, that's when we will, like, reactively understand and see where the traffic is coming from and what the sources of these traffic are. And we may reject your website based on that. The last kind of main reason for rejecting would be unsupported languages. So AdSense currently supports 50 languages. These are mentioned on the Help Center, and you can have a look at the supported languages. So make sure that the language you're producing content in is supported by AdSense in order to be able to get approved. I hope I kind of, I know I covered a lot right there in the last couple of minutes, but we'll send links at the end of this webinar, which will definitely help you understand your most common themes of rejection.
Yeah, I think it can be tricky, and I think while you're waiting, you can sort of make up lots of reasons why it might be. But I think that thinking about the regions and thinking about making sure that you've got good quality content to begin with should really, really help. So if you've been running AdSense for a while, but you've seen that your earnings have dropped, maybe can you help folks troubleshoot why that might be?
Sure. So Hen, on her last slide of the presentation, showed various kind of metrics that the AdSense dashboard and the AdSense reporting section shows. The reporting section is an amazing place to start to kind of diagnose why your revenue has fallen. So revenue in general is made of 3 to 4 main factors. One is the total number of page views that you have. The second is the impressions, which is the impressions that an ad unit receives. And the third is the click-through ratios of once a user has clicked on the ad, whether they've landed on the advertiser's page or not. And each of these metrics are important. For instance, if your UX in some way, or your UI in some way mentions click on the link below or click on the image below, and the image below is an ad, then it automatically it's not a great kind of an user experience. You're guiding your users to click on something in order to get something else, which becomes slightly tricky, which is not the expected user behavior. So that may also cause some kind of policy violations. In general, I would say the best place to diagnose this is your report section. Understand if your page views has not dropped, and if your impressions has not dropped, and if your CTRs have not dropped. The only other reason could be that advertisers are paying less compared to, let's say, X number of months back for the same amount of real estate on your page. And this is obviously there's a display ads market where advertisers come bid for certain real estate on your pages, and publishers come show that this is the amount of real estate that we have. And oftentimes what happens is the bids in certain based on seasonality, the bids would go down and the real estate and the supply still remains the same or goes up. And as you can understand, demand and supply could lead to kind of price fluctuations. In general, based on seasonality, going from September, October, November, December, these are the times that we see the highest earnings in the whole year, up until Jan. And then in the summer, the earnings usually go down slightly. So if you have this kind of so if this question is something based on the last few months, CPMs or CPMs would have slightly gone down, but in the last quarter of the year is when usually we see seasonality or CPMs pick up. Crystal.
Yes, and I think seasonality affects lots of business. So I think it's important to know like which vertical you're in. If your blog is about summer clothes, then you might see a dip in the winter, that sort of thing. So it's worth thinking about that as well. And then you also touched upon, and I think I've seen these kinds of ads where you think you're going to download something and actually it's something else. But so someone asked, how can you make visitors click the ads? And you touched upon this a little bit with saying like if you've got something pointing to it, is that, what is your opinion on that?
I just want to, while answering this question, I saw a very interesting, another kind of related question in the chat, which said, why would we want users to exit our own sites? So there is this kind of balance, and it's a tough balance to maintain, and we completely appreciate that. But it is a tough balance to maintain in terms of asking your users to click on ads that are relevant to them to go out of your website and getting money out of it. But in order to do that, very simply, you should not make your visitors click on these ads. That's completely against our policies. And in all probability, you may be able to do it for a while, but eventually your account will be terminated. And getting your account terminated is almost like an ultimatum. There is very few publishers go back from getting their account terminated into being active again. So don't try to make your visitors specifically click on ads. as Crystal just mentioned, like especially if you want to download this PDF file, click on this ad below. That is completely against policies. What I would suggest on is maintaining a good user experience. And this is what I was trying to get to earlier, like maintaining that balance of making sure you have enough content and making sure that content is in hand with a good user experience. And trust you me, the click on ads or the users will eventually automatically be engaging with the ads without you having to purposefully make them do so.
Okay, so that's super incredible information. We've got, as I said, we have an article that we just published that has some great top tips. And we are so grateful for having Mutha and Ken here to share their information straight from Google. And we're really grateful to have Ala here to talk about how you can get started on Wix and using the Wix monetize with AdSense app. So make sure you go and have a go, download it, see if you can get approved, and see if you can get generating content and generating some income from your content today. So thank you all very much for joining us, and have a good day, good evening, and a good journey forward. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Thanks a million.